जैसा अन्न वैसा मन, ये स्लोगन, ये संस्कृत श्लोका हमने सुना है, लेकिन हम इससे जानते नहीं है कि इसका मतलब क्या है. बेसिकली यू आर व्हाट यू ईट. That's what it means.
Of course.
इसका मतलब कि आप जब आपके प्लेट पे कुछ खा रहे हो तो ये सिर्फ आप अपने बॉडी के लिए नहीं खा रहे हो, यू आर ऑल्सो ईटिंग फॉर योर हार्ट, योर माइंड एंड योर सोल.
For your energies.
For your energies. So eating,
the better the food, the better the energies.
Correct.
Pure the food, pure the energy.
Correct.
Welcome to Food Farmacy Podcast. Today with us we have Aishwarya Jain. She is a psychotherapist, expert, mental health coach and a chakra healer. She's graduated from Tara Institute of Social Sciences and right now she runs her mental health startup called Assar.
Thank you so much. Atma Namaste to our listeners. I'm delighted to be here today at Food Farmacy. Let's go.
Today we are going to talk about mental health. The reasons of mental health issues that happen now, stress, depression, and multiple things. Please explain to us, why does stress happen so often and why is it that it is an underlying issue for so many diseases?
So in essence, if we try to understand the concept of stress in today's time, so if you understand in 21st century, what is the major source of stress for a lot of people in different age groups? Let us consider the teenage group, let us consider the young professionals group, which is 21 to 30, and let us also consider the working parents group, which is again 21 to 40. And if we go back to the root cause of stress, I think our screen time, in a sense, has increased a lot post-COVID.
Very true. Yeah.
I think it has become very important for all of us to have an online presence nowadays, or a social media presence. जिसकी वजह से हमें हमेशा एक तरीके का पीयर प्रेशर रहता है, चाहे किसी भी एज ग्रुप में हम बिलोंग करते हो, टू कीप ऑन कॉन्स्टेंटली हैविंग अ पॉजिटिव पर्सनालिटी which we have to show and maintain on our social media handles.
And our friends are doing this, so we want to do this.
Exactly. FOMO, जिसको हम बोलते हैं, fear of missing out. But I think the real thing is JOMO, which is joy of missing out, which we are actually become very distant from.
The real joy,
Yes.
The joy from within is like a long gone thing, I feel.
Yeah.
When was the last time we would have felt joys from within?
Exactly.
Just not while traveling or watching a movie, but beyond that, everyday joy.
Exactly. So the little things which actually make us happy from within and help us detach from our hectic lifestyles. कि जहाँ हम रोज सुबह चालू करते हैं फोन के साथ और एंड करते हैं ब्लू लाइट के साथ ही, कहाँ हम एक ब्रेक लगा सके एंड शिफ्ट कर सके हमारा पर्सपेक्टिव towards going within.
So stress is happening because you don't give enough time to yourself to heal that certain in that certain time frame, and you don't give time to yourself to spend with your loved ones.
Absolutely. So judgment pressure जो एक रहता है कि fear of judgment, वो हमारे अंदर इस तरीके से हो रहा है कि हम अपने loved ones को भी assume करते हैं कि they are judging us.
Yeah.
So you must have noticed that nowadays we have different versions of ourselves with everybody.
Yeah.
We have different versions of ourselves with us, with our partner, with our children, with our friends, with our employees.
But that is supposed to happen because we are in a different segment.
Correct.
I, as an individual, I'm working at a place.
Absolutely.
Then my preference or my behavior is going to be different.
Absolutely.
If I'm at my house or if I'm with my kid, I'm going to be different.
Correct. So what I'm trying to bring out from this is, आप जितने activities करते हैं उतने आपकी versions होते हैं. But at the end of the day, which is the version that you go back to? Which is the person that you sleep with?
That original self?
Yeah. Who is the person that you sleep with at night? Who is that person who has this big smile on their face when they're going to sleep? कि हाँ, आज बढ़िया दिन था. उस तरीके से आप कैसे अपना हर दिन उस तरीके से बढ़िया कर सकते हैं? With yourself, which comes back to that point of knowing oneself and being in touch with oneself.
So that's pretty much how it should be. And that is how we can help ourselves to be joyous from within.
Correct. So I think the takeaway or the call to action from this particular interaction would be JOMO, which is the joy of missing out. How we transfer from FOMO to JOMO. कि ठीक है, चलो एक बार हम hang out करने नहीं गए friends के साथ, या we miss that party, But instead, we stayed back home and binge watched Friends with our family. That became one kind of a different experience where we would able to get in touch with ourselves.
So this is about us being individual, but when we are in a place like a corporate setup, there is competition, there is backstabbing also, there is happy moments as well, there is achievement. There's multiple emotion in that corporate space.
Right.
So, and corporate stress is a different ball game because people affect themselves so bad that anything can happen.
Absolutely.
So how to deal with that?
So when you are at the workplace, you have this constant pressure to perform. You are in competition, as you mentioned, with your colleagues. At the same time, you're working towards one particular goal that the organization stands for.
Yeah.
So when they basically...
And that goal that you have got from them.
Exactly.
This is your, this is a target that you have to achieve.
Correct. And breaking it down to the fact कि जब आपका recruitment होता है तब भी आपके अंदर वो values देखते हैं कि जो organization के goal के साथ align हो. So I feel that जो corporate stress है, जहाँ पे आपको constantly perform करने का एक pressure रहता है और ऐसा environment रहता है जहाँ पे आप अपने career को लेके इतने serious and ambitious होते हैं कि आप अपने आप को ही बैलेंस करने की बहुत स्ट्रगल में रहते हैं कि आपको ambitions भी फोकस करने हैं, your dreams, your goals. You also have to focus on improving yourself as an individual.
And grow from within.
Grow from within, exactly. Growth, basically. And take along your relationships.
Yes.
So I think relationships play a very important part when it comes to corporate culture. कि आपका relationship आपके employee के साथ कैसा है, आपके subordinate के साथ कैसा है, and how you can focus on improving that bond. कि can it go beyond that professional bonding? Can it go beyond that discussion over an email or a Google Meet? Can it go outside the boardroom and probably develop into something which is more human?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we are all solving for people. हम कुछ भी कर रहे हैं, we are working
towards...
We are
doing it for the people.
For people. We are solving of people for people.
Trust factor comes into the picture, right?
Correct.
Whether we can trust the person or not.
Yes.
So how to know if we can trust a person or not?
So you spoke about the fact कि back bitching होती है. So I think that comes down to on a very individual level. If somebody is not on their best behavior with you, I think it's on them to bear the consequences of those actions because they will not be long term का, they will not be marathon का घोड़ा, they will be short term people. So उनको जो खुशी मिल रही है back bitching करके वो बहुत short lived रहेगी. And that acceptance will help you to grow not just as a professional but as an individual. कि जाने दो, जियो और जीने दो. Forgiveness, I think, plays a very important part in corporate culture. क्योंकि in order to maintain a calm mind कि हर जन पे आप गुस्सा नहीं कर रहे हो, ट्रैफिक में फंस के आए हो और शायद बीवी से लड़के आए हो और ये सब आपके काम पे अफेक्ट नहीं होना चाहिए. So I think forgive करते रहो, जो भी आपके रास्ते में आ रहा है माफ करते रहो, so that let go, you can live your life peacefully. But
saying let go and actually letting it go is a different thing.
It's very difficult to get it into action.
Yeah.
It's easier said than done.
It's just not for a corporate setup, but anyways in our lives when we just have to let it go, it still feels so heavy.
So if I can bring a little bit of our culture into this, if you've heard of Chanakya Niti, and we have Dr. Radhakrishnan who spoke about corporate Chanakya. उसमें उन्होंने बताया था कि जो बहुत बड़े economists थे कि आपको अगर financial prosperity gain करनी है at the workplace, whether you are a boss or an employee, you have to have a culture of loving kindness and compassion.
Always.
तभी जाके if you keep the other person before you, only then you can succeed. And for our listeners, I'd like to give like a takeaway. There's this book called 7 Habits of Successful Human Beings by Stephen Covey.
Yes.
उसमें उन्होंने लिखा है कि be a listener. Secondly, understand before responding. Because
take your time.
हाँ, मतलब जब हम सुनते हैं, we listen to respond. We don't listen to understand.
To react.
Correct.
We have to respond, not react.
Yes. तो आप कुछ बोल रहे हैं, हमारे employees कुछ हमसे कुछ रख रहे हैं बात, उन्हें कोई mental health issue है जिसकी वजह से ही they are not able to perform, and we are not able to take that in. We are not able to absorb that particular topic because we have our own agenda to promote.
Yeah.
So as CXOs or as business owners, we have to be very conscious about to how we are treating our employees and understanding and be sensitive about their day-to-day issues.
How can we foster a workplace which is good for your mind and your heart?
So when you think about workplace, the first thing that comes to your mind is gossip. I mean, who does not love to do gossip, right? We always like to talk about our colleagues when the person whom we are talking about is not there in the room. But I can say that there are a few practices that we can follow. So a better culture at a workplace, which is better for your heart and your soul and your mind. So the first thing is mindset building. From the moment that you wake up to the moment that you step into the office, say later to the moment that you shut down your laptop, what kind of mindset you are having, what kind of vibrations you are letting yourself have, and how it is affecting your colleagues. So don't be a cactus, be a sunflower, spread positivity.
Yeah.
So that is the first point. Second practice would be, like I mentioned, everybody loves to gossip. Chai Pe Charcha is a culture which has always been there in our office culture, which helps us to take a breath, out of the very, 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 very intense meetings. Yeah. So Chai Pe Charcha definitely करना चाहिए, but can we improve the quality of the conversations during those Chai Pe Charcha? Can we move beyond gossiping about people? Because when you look at bullying in the office, if you want to stop the culture of bullying, don't be a bully, don't gossip. आप अगर किसी के बारे में दो अच्छी बातें बोलेंगे, you will definitely see a difference in your performance at the workplace.
Very true.
And the opposite is also true. If you have belittled someone, may it be your boss even, sometimes it's difficult to repress your emotions. तो भड़ास निकाल देनी चाहिए, लेकिन हमेशा एक मन साफ रखना चाहिए कि आप किसी को जान के हानि ना पहुंचाएं. Next is, this is my favorite actually, it's called affirmations notes. So I think what we could do at our workplace is have little post-its जहाँ पे हम affirmations लिख रहे हैं for our employees, for our colleagues, and we're leaving those affirmations as a thought of the day at every center, like at the cafeteria or at the Xerox machine.
That motivates them to,
Yes.
think beyond just the work, but think about themselves.
Exactly. कि what are you taking back home from the office today? Probably पूरे दिन में अगर कोई इंसान is going through some mental health issue, that affirmation might help him to actually go through the day.
Very true.
Next, I would say that there is a culture wherein in office we celebrate festivals, birthdays and special days. But have you heard that you have a mental health day in an office? Which is very important nowadays क्योंकि हमारा digital intolerance की वजह से information overload होते जा रहा है और हम instant gratification की तरफ भाग रहे हैं. So we need days off which are only for our mental health.
Yeah.
कि उस दिन पे
Where
will
you
be
spend time to do things that you really like.
correct and you're basically away from the gadgets. अगर काम नहीं होगा तो आप automatically आपका screen time थोड़ा सा comparatively कम होगा if you're not checking your emails every now and then. Some people have an affliction that they want to see the notification of the emails being sent कि हाँ ठीक है, before I go to bed I complete all my emails and then I sleep. Is that a good practice really? Will that probably make you a happier
thinking that
person?
you're relieving yourself by finishing all the tasks.
Yeah, I mean, productivity syndrome is something which you and me both are facing. You're a working mother, I'm a working professional. We both are owners of businesses and we are running it together at the same time, managing our personal lives. But the last thought at the end of the day before I sleep should not be that email in my chat box. So I think mental health days are very important and that is one of the things to foster better culture in the workplace.
Right.
Next, I would say we can have office potlucks wherein we can have people bringing the delicacies of their regions. Generally in office places, we have people who are from different states and culture. India is a diverse place. तो कोई घाटिया ले आया, कोई लिट्टी चोखा ले आया जो कि एक बिहारी डिश है, कोई डोसा ले आया. A kind of a different potluck which is themed on India, kind of. The next idea would be, so there are lots of employee engagement programs that happen. But वो जो होता है that only sticks to those days when the employee engagement is happening, उसके बाद people forget about it. I would say do things which are more possible for people to adopt. जैसे कि early morning cycling at riverfront, if you are in an Ahmedabad office. Or let's say after office going to Manik Chowk for a nice dinner. Or else the best part would be to make most use of Navratri and do Garba therapy in the office. That is like my
Music and
go-to,
dance.
my go-to technique of making my people happy.
Of course.
And lastly, and the most important one is movement. I think physical movement in the office, in the workplace, in home is very important to basically just
To
circulate
give
the blood.
yourself that break.
Yes.
To move a bit.
Yes.
To
Move
breathe.
करो, drink water, blood circulation improve होगा, oxygen brain तक पहुँचेगा तो दिमाग सही से चलेगा. So move I would say every an hour के बाद definitely make a point to move from your place and go and say hi to one of your colleagues.
Yeah. How to align our mental health in our home.
So home is where the heart is, and that's the place where we spend our maximum time. And in order to improve our bonding with ourselves at our happy place and with our people who are our home, there are a few practices that we can follow.
Yeah.
One of them is, if you've heard of post-its, which comes in different colors and sizes. As a culture, you can just leave around small post-its across different surfaces of your furniture at home, kitchen, cabinet, or fridge, or TV, or tabletop, and you can write positive thoughts of the day for other members of the family to read.
That would be great.
Yes, that's a good idea. The other thing is basically praying together. The family that prays together succeeds together. So I think if we want to invite happiness, good health, and prosperity in our homes, I think a good idea would be to take some time out during the day or in the evening, 15 minutes of the day. In our culture, we light the diya. So diya जलाने वाले time पे सब इकट्ठा होके अगर एक छोटा सा prayer बोल सके, so that will be really helpful in bringing good vibes. Thirdly, I think Diwali is coming. So Diwali cleaning is a very important habit of all households in India. So Diwali cleaning for your heart, mind and soul would be actually going back and taking out some clothes जो पुराने कपड़े हैं, कॉन्शियसली एंड माइंडफुली आप उसको डोनेट करने के लिए इकट्ठा हो जाओ अपने फैमिली मेम्बर्स के साथ. फर्नीचर जो है उसको थोड़ा सा रीडेकोरेट करो, मूव इट अराउंड. सो इससे क्या होता है कि स्टेल एनर्जी जो बंद जाती है वो स्टेल एनर्जी रिलीज हो जाती है.
Right.
सो इट ब्रिंग्स पॉजिटिव एनर्जी इन द हाउस. ब्रिंग एन इंडोर प्लांट, टॉक टू इट एवरी डे. That will help you if you're living alone.
Yeah.
That becomes your families on some days. And other things, I think one idea would be to have a no gadget time. So any slot during the day,
Yeah.
जब आप consciously
We put our phones aside for that
phones,
moment.
laptops, any kind of even. So I would suggest कि even जो Bluetooth का pod होता है ना जो अपने कान में लगा रहता है, उससे भी vibrations आते हैं, which actually interfere with our aura. So if we can actually get rid of all those gadgets, including our smart watches, all gadgets aside, सब garden में इकट्ठा होके चाय पी रहे हैं, that is something which I'm visualizing as a happy home. And lastly, I would say for children in a big household, talking to elders, taking time out and speaking to nana nani, tata dadi really helps. This is a very very old I would say practice, but अभी ऐसा हो गया कि हमारे पास टाइम नहीं रहता है. मतलब उधर घर में दो बहनें हैं तो एक कॉलेज जाती है एक काम पे जाती है, वो लोग आपस में मिल ही नहीं पाते हैं. So taking time out to talk to people, so basically a sharing circle.
So we have to give our conscious effort to this.
Conscious effort, it's a practice. So
Yeah.
as I mentioned in the beginning, it's a practice. Practice is something which you have to bring into your lifestyle. तो आप ये 7 जो मैंने बताए हैं practices, वो आप practice करें कि talking to elders, sharing circle, basically taking time out to talk to your people. Diwali cleaning for the heart, mind and soul, redecorating and moving the furniture around your house, talking to your indoor plants, praying together as a family,
Yes.
No
Sharing
gadget
a
times.
meal.
Sharing a meal, exactly. So yeah, that brings us to those 7 practices.
That's amazing. That's a really great way to imbibe yourself into your own house.
Correct, exactly.
Because then you'll be part of everything from that post-it. So in the morning, if somebody is reading that post-it, it's gonna make them feel good, and that's gonna make you feel good after.
Absolutely. And it doesn't matter कि आप post-it पे thought ही लिख रहे हो पूरा. You can just
anything.
leave small
Just a
emojis.
message.
Yeah, a message.
Yeah.
Home is where the heart is
Yeah.
बोलते हैं. So you have to make an effort to put the heart in the
This
home.
is beautiful. I think I'll definitely want to start it. There's a concept of holistic living. It's an ideal concept that we all want to achieve that. But if you want to break it down on how to achieve it, what are the steps?
So if we understand by definition what it means, holistic living या तो holistic wellness का main मतलब यही है कि आपका physical, mental, emotional and spiritual जो 4 aspects of wellness है उसको हम कैसे align किया जा सकता है in our daily routine. And if you look at even the World Health Organization has redefined its definition of health. पहले वो ये बोलते थे कि अगर आपका body disease free है तो आप healthy हो. अब वो ये बोलते हैं कि health is basically an alignment of your physical, mental, emotional and spiritual well-being, which is basically अपना जो ancient Indian wisdom था, and that combined with modern technology, how to adopt it as a lifestyle in our daily routine. So that brings us to our main 4 keywords, which is chakras, food, emotions and sleep.
Right.
And I would like to take a moment to elaborate on how these 4 things are connected. Chakras are basically our energy centers, जो हमारे ऊर्जा केंद्र होते हैं हमारे बॉडी के, जो हमारा बेसिकली प्राणा या जो एनर्जीज होती है उसको गवर्न करते हैं. जैसा अन्न वैसा मन, ये स्लोगन, ये संस्कृत श्लोका हमने सुना है, लेकिन हम इससे जानते नहीं है कि इसका मतलब क्या है. बेसिकली यू आर व्हाट यू ईट. That's what it means.
Of course.
इसका मतलब कि आप जब आपके प्लेट पे कुछ खा रहे हो तो यह सिर्फ आप अपने बॉडी के लिए नहीं खा रहे हो, यू आर ऑल्सो ईटिंग फॉर योर हार्ट, योर माइंड एंड योर सोल,
for your energies.
So
the
eating,
better the food, the better the energies.
correct.
Pure the food, pure the energies.
Correct. आपको अगर अपना कैलोरी अचीव करना है, let's say you need to have 2000 calories, आप प्रोसेस्ड फूड्स भी खा के वो अचीव कर सकते हो, आप होलसम फूड्स भी खा के वो अचीव कर सकते हो. बट व्हाट वुड गिव यू longevity of life? What would give you?
The power of choosing is on us.
Exactly. That is what we have. The secret ingredient is our choice.
Yes.
What choices we take, and that is going to have an influence on our holistic wellness. For example, let's talk about our heart chakra. So heart chakra is a center for love, kindness and compassion. If we eat foods which are, let's say, green in color, because color is also associated with your chakra. So let's say we're having a lot of green leafy vegetables in our diet, green fruits, green juices. This will directly help us to activate our heart chakra. It will also boost the longevity of our heart as the organ. It will pump more oxygen, it will pump more blood, it will function in a better manner. Second, I'd like to talk about navel chakra, which is situated at our navel, जिसका मेन काम होता है कि खाने के जो न्यूट्रिएंट्स है उसको अब्जॉर्ब करके बॉडी के सारे पार्ट्स को डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करना, एंड नॉट जस्ट द न्यूट्रिएंट्स इन द फूड बट ऑल्सो द इंटेलिजेंस इन द फूड.
राइट.
तो जैसे आपने देखा होगा पुराने ज़माने में लोग खाने के बाद ऐसे ऐसे हाथ घुमाते हैं. सो व्हाट इज द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ दैट? They are actually unconsciously activating the navel chakra for better digestion, so that better digestive juices are released.
Right.
Secondly, if you have a pizza or if you have khichdi, which is millet based, superfoods based, दोनों का जो digestion रहेगा navel chakra को better nutrient absorption इस option से मिलेगा, because it is more wholesome. So we are basically अच्छा खाना खा के making easier for our body to process the food and make it better for our heart and mind.
Also, we should know from where the food is coming. If the food is coming from a source where there is a lot of fertilizer in it and chemicals in it, and it's after all refined, then it's gonna harm your body.
Absolutely. जैसे भगवद गीता में कृष्णा ने ये सात्विक, राजसिक और तामसिक कॉन्सेप्ट इसलिए निकाले उन्होंने ताकि हमें पता चले कि फूड का क्वालिटी हमारे इमोशंस पे क्या असर लाता है. तो आपने जैसे बताया कि प्रोसेस्ड फूड्स जो होते हैं जिसकी शेल्फ लाइफ एक्सटेंड करते हैं आर्टिफिशियली, उसका हमारे इमोशंस के ऊपर जो असर पड़ता है वैसे ही हमारा बर्ताव रहता है. ज़्यादा प्रोसेस्ड फूड खाओगे ज़्यादा गुस्सा आएगा.
But it's gonna temporarily give you good feeling.
Yeah.
But for a longer run, it's gonna give you a really troublesome life.
Even in the short term, if you really observe, it'll make you more angry. It'll make you more prone to doing things impulsively rather than being in a calm state of mind.
Because food in its form was very simple, but it has become so complex by being that product which is so refined.
Exactly. Which brings us to connecting jaisa ann vaisa man, our emotions, our food and holistic living.
Right.
So I think this conversation actually connects those main keywords.
Right.
And lastly, I would talk about the third chakra, which is the crown chakra, as a habit to improve our holistic living habits कि जो क्राउन चक्र रहता है, सहस्रार चक्र जिसे बोलते हैं, it is located 2 inches above our body.
Yeah.
And it basically governs our sleep cycle, जो circadian rhythm होता है, which basically means कि आपका body clock कैसे function कर रहा है, आपको नींद कब आ रही है, आपको भूख कब लग रही है, आपको ब्रेक की कब जरूरत है.
So it's a natural clock.
Correct. कि आपको थकान कब लगती है बॉडी के natural clock के हिसाब से.
When are you drained? When are you energetic?
Exactly. And what things make you happy? जो आपके pineal gland को कवर करता है. Pineal gland is basically जो आपके सारे hormones, pituitary gland के साथ काम करके उसको function करता है. So crown chakra को improve करने के लिए, उसका activation improve करने के लिए आपका sleep cycle improve करना important है. और उस पे focus करना important है, which will actually lead you to your holistic living. So it's a conscious habit to set up a time in a way that you actually eat light before you sleep and you wake up on the same time every day.
Yeah.
So consistency.
You have to
will
maintain
help.
that cycle.
Yes.
And if it is maintained, then only it's gonna be stable.
Correct. If you look at farmers, उनको अपने आप 4 बजे नींद खुल जाती है because तभी पानी आता है और तभी उनको फील्ड होता है, उसको तभी वो पानी दे सकते हैं. So their circadian rhythm is set कि 4 a.m. they'll wake up, 9 p.m. they'll sleep off.
But now with the phone and Netflix,
yes,
the rhythm has changed so much.
Oh my God.
If we start a series, we probably sleep at 2 or 3.
No, that's very true. In fact, it has become the reverse. People actually find time at the end of the day in order to binge watch on their favorite shows and matches.
Yes.
You know, whether it's a cricket match or a football match. So I think it's very difficult to say, but harder to practice. So I would say take it one step at a time.
So all of this would give body, so that is going to show some symptoms in body at a later age.
Not even in the later age. आपको तब तक wait भी नहीं करना पड़ेगा. I'm in my 20s and I have my friend who's in his 30s and he's already behaving like a बुजुर्ग इंसान because he says कि मेरे पुर्जे अब थोड़े ढीले से हो गए हैं. वो नवरात्रि के टाइम पे गरबा भी नहीं खेल. Correct. So नवरात्रि में गरबा भी नहीं खेल पा रहा था.
This is all because probably he's not taking care of his body.
Correct.
And this is the age like 20 to 30 or 40 is the age when we are so active and we can do multiple things. When we are powerhouse of energy like a mitochondria. So we should be energetic. We should do that.
Yes, and we need to know when to stop. Why is that?
So
anything in
excess. Listening to your body is so important.
Yes.
Your body always gives you signals. If something is not right,
yes,
there is the signal.
Yes.
So we should listen and respect our own self, our own body.
Absolutely. I think that sums up the functions of all these chakras which I mentioned. The heart chakra, the navel chakra and the crown chakra as a means to activating them for holistic wellness and listening to your body.
This is ultimately the way of achieving that holistic living, not just as a concept, but as a reality for us ourselves.
Exactly. Holistic meaning physical, mental, emotional and spiritual. All the 4 are aligned. Body, mind, heart and soul.
Yes.
It's been a pleasure talking about Sattvic lifestyle and talking about holistic living and mental health and the importance of food and emotions. I would like to ask you, what is the inception story of Food Farmacy? How did you come up with the name? And what is the secret ingredient that makes it so adoptable for us?
So, Food Farmacy is a concept and is a store now which talks about health. We are an alternative store. We have everything, but it's healthier. We don't have sugars, we don't have preservative, we don't have palm oil, we don't have additives. So these products we have curated are from across India. We have put it on our shelves for our city, for our customers to know that, this is possible. Today, when you think, okay, I want to eat healthy, where should I go? What should I buy? What should I have? And what should I start with? We have answers for that.
Correct.
And this lifestyle is something that it comes with a practice. Today, if you start having organic food, it's gonna take a bit for you to adjust to having that every day.
Right.
And coming to how this was initiated, this is something that I have been following all my life. Since my childhood, I'm following clean food. I'm eating home cooked meals. If I'm eating food outside, I'm very conscious of what I'm picking. Even if it's a packet food, I'm going to read the labels and I'm going to make sure that there is no chemical in it. And also it should be not something that has a longer shelf life.
Understood.
The shorter the shelf life, the better the product.
So are you saying that you never have these junk food wale cravings? Okay, let's go to Domino's or Pizza Hut or something like that.
Well, honestly, I've never had a Domino's pizza in my life.
What are you saying? Guys, this is Food Pharmacy owner for you. It's been great to understand, but I would like to know what is the reason about pharmacy? How did that come up with?
So pharmacy it's farm, right? The pharmacy that we have here is with Farmacy. So earthy, the food that comes from the earth is the real food and not the
Right.
food which is made in a factory. Yeah, but at
Okay.
some point you have to eat a chakri or probably a sev, which is gonna be made in a factory. But also the ingredients that it is made from, it's all clean ingredients. So that
Correct.
is the depth that we go to. We want to make sure that the product and the labels are very clean,
Right.
and that is ultimately which is going to help us to live better, eat better, and feel better.
As a mental health coach and a chakra healer, I would like to reaffirm what you just mentioned, because the जैसा अन्न वैसा मन वाला जो concept है
Yes.
and food pharmacy जिस concept के लिए stand करता है, I think it goes hand in hand with our philosophy also,
Of course.
which is aligning your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being.
Yeah, always. And here we are going to end our session. This is our podcast with Aishwarya Jain. This was an amazing podcast. We have learned so much about mental health, stress, chakra healing, and multiple things.
I would just like to thank our listeners for being patient with us throughout this podcast. And if you have any thoughts or any comments or anything to argue about the discussion that we've had, please do put your comments and tag us with hashtag holistic wellness, hashtag food pharmacy.
Well, that's a wonderful. Subscribe to our channel, Food Pharmacy Podcast, to know more about healthy lifestyle and healthy being.